Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope everyone's having a great day, a great week. So happy to have you here. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, we talk about a lot of things on here, but mainly we try to keep it focused on how to, keep yourselves mentally and emotionally kind of in the best place possible, using our brains, using our minds to keep us living the best versions of ourselves, the best versions of our lives. So talk about a lot of things, and happy to have you tonight. The thing that prompted this talk tonight is I've been going through all these old photos and all these old videos. Long story short, I'm trying to get them off of my old computer and I'm trying to get them on my new computer so I can wipe out and sell the old computer. And it's actually been more difficult than I would have ever imagined, because the one computer is an Apple, the one computer is not. And I guess there's like all these, I don't know, all these things with transferring photos between the different devices and the cards and everything. I'm not really a big IT person, tech person, so not claiming to know what I'm doing, but it's been a process regardless. But anyway, slowly but surely, I've been moving years worth of photos, from one device to another. And in doing that, I have gone back, obviously, and looked at a lot of old photos, looked at a lot of old videos. And man, when you do that in kind of a concentrated time frame, a concentrated environment, it's just so bizarre. I mean, of course we know that we change with time. We know that we evolve with time. But it's just like a snapshot of, decades right there, like all in one place for your viewing purposes. And it's just kind of wild to look back on yourself and just see how much you have changed, for the better, for the worse, all the things. And, to remember the different phases of your life, and to remember the different things that you have gone through, and to remember, what you never want to go back to, potentially, or potentially what you miss and do want to go back to. It's just been interesting. I mean, we all have, this isn't a crazy thing. Like, we all have old pictures and videos of ourselves and stuff like that, but I haven't, because of doing this, trying to get these things transferred, and because of kind of the process that it's been, and it's like forced me like to go in and look at all these old pictures, all these old videos in a very condensed time frame. And it's just, I feel like I'm just like flipping through a little, picture book of my life. And it's been kind of an interesting thing to reflect back on. The horses specifically. So if you haven't tuned in here before, I do have horses. I barrel race competitively all over the country. And that has been, looking back at those old videos of when I first started riding, when I first started competing, it almost makes me cringe. Let me explain a little bit further. So when I first started barrel racing, obviously we weren't very good. We have gradually gotten better over the years. There's been a lot of struggles. There's been a lot of heartache. There's been a lot of frustration. There's been a lot of, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. And then, hurdles that you overcome. And then you get to the other side, and then you think you got it figured out, only to then realize you don't have it figured out and you got to go back. I mean, it's just, when I look back over the last several years of my world with my horses, it's just been so much growth, so much learning, so much up and down, so much emotion. I feel like I have lived 1,000 lifetimes of emotion in just the last several years with what I have gone through with these horses. And looking back at those videos, so let me start by saying this. I figured out a while ago that usually when it comes to a problem with the horse, usually it is me. And this doesn't just go for me personally, if you have animals, if you have horses, generally speaking, if something's not going right, it's easy for us to blame the animal, but often it is us. Often we are not communicating what we need to communicate. We're not being consistent in the things that we're asking. We are failing somewhere in our training and in our technique, and the horse is not doing what we want because we are not setting them up for success. And I know that logically, that's something that is a very common sentiment that horse trainers share. And I figured it out a while ago that, generally, if something's going wrong, I'm usually the problem. So I know this, this is not new news to me, but looking back at those old videos, I just looked at them and I kind of cringed because I was like, wow, now knowing what I know now, having the knowledge that I have now, the experience that I have now, looking at videos of myself riding my horses 8 years ago, 9 years ago, it just makes me cringe because I'm like, what were you doing, girl? That's not the way you ask for for the response that you were trying to get. That's not the way you train. That's not the way you do this, that, and the other. And I knew that I had evolved as a rider. I knew that I had evolved as a trainer. I knew that we had gotten better. I knew that we had figured a lot of stuff out, but just going back and watching those videos, it just kind of slapped me in the face. You really didn't know what you were doing, and you really weren't doing a great job. And I remember how I felt during that same time. I remember feeling so discouraged, so frustrated, so upset, so just desperate to be better, but frustrated that I couldn't get there. And it was painful. I mean, that seems like a strong word, but I think it's accurate. It was painful. It was painful to want so bad to be better at something and not be able to figure out how to execute, not be able to figure out how to get to where you wanted to go. And looking back at those videos and then reliving it, rethinking it, it's like, I'm speaking to myself here. It's like I knew so little and I know so much more now. And all those years of that heartache and going through the process and going through trying to get better and all the hours spent, it paid off. I mean, I'm better now. We're better now. And it's cool to go back and watch that growth and know that all of those hours of pain, frustration, doubt, disappointment, they weren't for nothing. We learned from the failures. We pushed through the failures and we came out on the other side much better. And that's just such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing to look back on that time and to remember it so vividly. Like the struggle was so real, and I still remember it so vividly. And to know that we've come out on the other side and accomplished what we've accomplished, not that we're the best in the world by any means, and like not that we're even close to being the level that I hope to be one day. Like we still have a lot more growth to do, but just the fact that I am where I am now, looking back on where I was then and just how far away I was from what I wanted, it's just so cool to go back and to see that growth and to know that you did it. Like to know that you persevered and you pushed through and you felt the pain, you felt the heartache, you felt the failure, and you learned from it. Instead of just, quitting, like just saying I'm done and calling it quits, you pushed through all of that. And you paid attention enough to learn the valuable lessons that you needed to learn to come out the other side better, to come out on the other side and achieve the things that you want to achieve. And I don't really know if that's going to speak to anyone out there. I'm not really sure exactly what the point I'm trying to get across in all this. But I think if you're struggling, if you're in the middle right now of struggling with something that, you're trying to get somewhere or you're trying to do something and you're failing miserably, I just encourage you, keep going and learn from those failures. Look at those failures, analyze them, figure out, okay, what do I need to do different? What do I need to do better? What do I need to do next time? And just keep going. And I hope that you're going to come out on the other side, just like I did, and look back and be like, yeah, like, wow, I did it. Like, I made it through. And what I have seen with the horses and what I have learned with the horses and what is so evident in watching old videos of me with the horses, like I already said, a lot of it was me. Like it wasn't the horse, it wasn't them, it was me. Like I wasn't riding then like I ride now. I wasn't communicating then like I communicate now. The evolution happened when I changed how I rode, when I changed how I communicated with the animal, when I changed how I thought about the animal, when I changed how I thought about the situation. And that is true, is definitely true in horses. I know that, but it is true in life and in other situations in life as well. Most of the time, it's not about the things around you. It is about you, your ability, your skill, your talent. How are you conducting yourself? How are you executing the things that you want to execute? How are you thinking about the things that you think about? How are you perceiving the world around you? How you are reacting to the world around you? It's easy when we're struggling or when things aren't going the way we want them to go. It's very easy to say, well, the horse just isn't cooperating. The horse is just being bad. It's easy to point the finger at something external and say, well, that's just a problem, or that thing is a problem, or that thing is hindering me. And all that could still be true. Like there are things that hinder us in life, of course. But at the end of the day, the power to get to a better spot in your life, the power to get yourself closer to the version of yourself that you want to be, it lies with you. And it lives and dies with you. So your first step is always to reflect on, okay, what am I doing? What should I be doing different? How should I be doing things different? How should I be thinking about things different? How should I be looking at things different? When you start to turn inward and you start to focus on truly, really probably the only thing you can control, which is yourself, and you start to prioritize building yourself up and making yourself better, and, making yourself aware of your surroundings and your thoughts and how to be better, that's when you really start to see big changes come and big things happen. So I hope that someone out there can relate to this. It's always an evolution. Life is always an evolution. We should always be growing. We should always be getting better, striving to get better. And it's really an awesome thing to know you went through some trial and tribulation or a struggle, and you came out, better for it on the other side. But that doesn't happen by accident. That happens by design. That happens because you make it a point to embrace your failures, to embrace your struggles, to turn towards them instead of away from them, and say, okay, how do I get better? How do I get myself to a better spot? So that's what I encourage all of you to do. And, I hope that everyone has a great rest of your week. And I hope that you tune back in next time. Please share this podcast with anyone that you think might like to listen to it. It really makes a world of difference. And thanks for tuning in. All right, I hope to chat again soon. Bye.